Hey, this is Gary from 3Bug Media, and today we're going to talk about email marketing and deliverability rates. So you may notice that sometimes you get emails and they end up in your junk folder, or if you're using Gmail or G Suite, they end up in the promotional folder, things like that. So how do the email marketing systems and the ISPs determine, well, what goes in the main inbox, what goes to junk, what goes to promotions? Well, there's a whole sophisticated system that they use, lots of algorithms. When incoming emails come in, they've run it through an algorithm, goes through a filter to see where they should put it. It's all done instantaneously. So today I'm going to give you a couple tips. So if you're sending out emails to your customers, how to minimize your chances of ending up in, number one, the junk folder, which you definitely don't want to end up in, or the promotional folder where all the newsletters go to die. Okay, so I'm going to give you a couple tips. You may not be able to do all of them, or you may not want to, but I'm just going to let you know some of the main factors involved to get your emails into the main inbox for your customer. Okay, number one is the more you can make it look like a regular email, the more likely it's going to end up in the regular inbox. Okay, so plain text emails work excellent for this. They look like a regular email that's going out, and they typically, a lot of times they can make it right into the main inbox. They don't have images, they don't have a ton of links. They look like a regular email, and when ISPs look at it, it looks like a regular email coming in. So a lot of times you'll be able to hit the main inbox with it. So if you're doing, if you're really design oriented or doing e-commerce, that may not work for you. You may need to add some style to it, but just letting you know that plain text emails, the more you can make it look like a regular email, even if you add an image or two or something like that, the more you can make it look like a regular email, the more likely it's going to hit the main inbox. Minimal links and images. The more you make it look like a newsletter, the more chances it's going to end up in a promotional folder. Okay, so try to minimize the amounts of links and minimize the amount of images. You may have one, main image, or just maybe one or two. But if you start making it look like a newsletter with tons of different sections, lots of links, lots of pictures, things like that, you're guaranteed to end up in a promotion folder, and you're pretty much guaranteed nobody's going to read it anyway. People aren't really interested in newsletters anymore. The shorter and clearer you can make it, the more likely people are going to read it, engage, and it's going to hit your main inbox, their main inbox. No attachment. This is a big no-no. If you're a small bit, I work with a lot of small business, especially service businesses. A lot of them still try to send their estimates and quotes and things as a PDF attachment. This is a big no-no, attachments in an email, especially if you're sending to someone where you don't have a previous relationship with, you've never gone back and forth together. With email exchanges, very likely you're going to end up not even in the promotion folder, but in the junk folder, because attachments are one of the number one ways to get a virus installed on your computer if somebody opens an attachment. Okay, so never send attachments. There's no reason to ever send attachments to people. Everything can be done with a link. So if you have a document, a PDF document, or something you need to send somebody, you can upload it to a site like Dropbox, get a link, and just put the link in your email instead of attaching it as a PDF or a file or something like that. So no attachments. Get them to engage. The more you can get them to respond back to you, that gives a clear signal to the ISPs that this is somebody that their customer interacts with, and it's probably safe to send future emails to the main inbox. So if you can get them to reply to you, especially on the first email, ask them a question, get them to do something. Reply back is number one. If you can get them to click on a link, do something, forward it, share it. It improves your deliverability rates, and more likely the ISPs will see you as a safe person and hopefully get inside the main inbox. No generic emails as the sender. Okay, so if you send your emails out as info ad or sales ad or something like that, marketing ad, don't do it. That's a clear signal to the ISPs that you're a generic email. It's not coming from a person, it's coming from a business, and you're much more likely to end up in the promotion or even the spam folder with that. So send it from a name if you can. For me, I'm Gary at 3bugmedia.com. deliverability.com, whatever it is, try to send it from a real email address. It'll definitely help with, number one, your open rates. You know, when people see it's coming from a person, they're more likely to open it, and the ISPs will also look at that as coming from a person and not just a generic email account. Okay. DKIM and SPF records. So if you're using some kind of email marketing software like MailChimp or Constant Contact, they are sending email out on your behalf. Okay. So what you need to do is when an email goes out, before it gets delivered, the ISPs look, there's a whole bunch of stuff that they look at, a whole bunch of data they look at. One of them is, okay, well, where is this email coming from? This email isn't coming from, you know, Gary's G Suite account. This is actually coming from somewhere else. You know, if I'm sending that email out, you know, say from MailChimp using Gary at 3Bug Media, the ISPs know that. They know it's not coming from my regular G Suite account. So when you sign up for an email marketing program, they will give you instructions on setting up your DKIM, DKIM, or end SPF records. It takes like 5 minutes to do. You just need to go into your settings for your email. Your email, they call them MX records. You go in there and you just add 2 lines in there. They'll give you what to put in there. You add those in, and now what happens is when MailChimp sends out an email on your behalf, the ISP see it, they look at these records and they say, oh, okay, it's safe. We know, they know, you know, I know Gary at 3Bug Media, it's okay to send from MailChimp. It gives the green light and it's okay. If you don't do these, you may be able to get your emails delivered. Most likely, a lot of them are gonna end up in junk and a lot of them are gonna end up in the promotional folder because it's a very clear signal that there's something wrong with it if you don't have these set up. So make sure you have these set up, and if you don't know how, you can, hopefully if you have a developer or a designer or somebody that you work with can do it for you. If not, sometimes if you contact your company where you purchase your domain name, they'll help you out and at the very least give you instructions on how to do it. It's not very hard once you do it once. And lastly, no spammy headlines and content. So if you start sending out headlines like super one-day sale with 10 exclamation points and a lot of free and stuff like that, that's a signal too that, you know, this is kind of a junky email that's coming out and most likely will end up in the junk folder. Okay, so you can get creative with your headlines. Just be careful about what you're saying in there, especially if you start adding a lot of exclamation points and stuff like that. That's a signal that it could be a junk email coming in. Okay, so if you can get as many of these as you can in place, you don't have to do all of them, but the more of these you can do, the more likely when you send out an email to a customer or a potential customer, it's going to end up in their main inbox and not in the promotional folder and not in the junk and spam folder. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can contact me at 3bugmedia.com, and thank you very much. Have a good day.